You're listening to Our Space with Matt Batiste.
One of my favorite messages to receive in my DMs is, hey, I just want to say I love your content and your podcast. Because of it, I've discovered this band. And whatever band that is, you know, I've gotten a bunch of people saying I found Arm's Length because you've talked about them, or Spanish love songs. And I have a feeling that today's guest is going to be that next band that people start mentioning in my DMs. They released an album this year that immediately became an album of the year contender for me personally. And I'm really excited to have them on. Their latest album is called Keep Her Cool. We're joined by Riley. How's it going?
It's going good.
Ryan, Chris, and Izzy, thank you so much for taking the time to come on. I have to ask, with the cover of Keep Your Cool, whose cat is that?
Oh, that's my cat. I'm so sorry.
What are you apologizing for?
She's a chatty one.
She is so cute.
Oh, there's Riley.
She's a little star.
I know. Look at her. She's not too happy about this.
Is her name Riley?
Yeah.
Did you name the band after your cat?
Yeah, we couldn't think of a band name, and just did that. I'm gonna let you go now. I'm sorry.
That has to be my favorite band name origin story yet. You know, everybody has, like, you know, a story or a feeling that they wanted to capture. The fact that it's named after your cat is fantastic.
Hell yeah.
And finally appropriate too to put her on a cover.
Yeah, use an actual photo of her.
That's amazing. Yeah. So why don't you tell me a little bit about you guys and how you actually came to be?
Oh, let's see. The origin story of Riley the band.
I see hear Riley meowing in the background.
I think that was Izzy's cat.
Yeah, that's my cat, Eggy. I need to go throw her in her room, but we'll figure it out.
Chris and I started the band 2018 with a different drummer.
I'm so sorry.
Nah, your turn, Eggy.
Hey, you are not the first band to have cats on in the show. It's actually a recurring thing. I think about half of the interviews I've done, a cat has made an appearance in one of the videos or the show. So this is a cat-friendly show for sure. Do you guys live together? Because I feel like I can hear it from your end as well.
No, we don't. But I probably... my cat might also be making noise here and there.
Oh, so. Good. That's hilarious.
Yeah, no, Chris and I started the band in 2018 with a different drummer. Mm-hmm. And he left the band to pursue law school. And obviously you can't do both. That shit, like, law school is crazy. But yeah, no, and then Izzy and I have been making music, like, on and off together for, like, how many years?
Oof.
Like over 10 years since we were a kid.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, you want to play drums for us? And they were like, yeah. And then, boom, here we are.
Chris, did you quit law school?
No, I did not.
No?
Yeah, Chris quit law school. Our drummer quit the band to do law school, and Chris quit law school.
That's great. That's great. And then, you know, like, how does it feel to release an album the same day as Taylor Swift?
I didn't even know that was happening, and then it was like a meme for a while. It was kind of funny. I like to think that she tried to steal our spotlight.
Yeah, I think one day people are going to look back at it and they're going to see that and be like, wow, I can't believe Taylor Swift got overshadowed by Riley.
No.
I was a little worried about our overlap, you know. There's definitely
the fan base had a huge overlap, so it was kind of nerve-wracking.
It's honestly a fantastic album. Do you have a favorite track on it?
Mine is Eat Your Heart Out. I love that song. I think we killed it there, and I love that our buddy Sam got to do a little feature on it too.
Mine's Kill Your Boss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me I lost connection to my internet connection.
Yeah. I like Kill Your Boss. It's fast and punky and all the good ways. Just because, like, the energy is, like, super up on that one, and, like, it's just kind of like, I don't know. That's like a high point to me personally.
Do you have like an
Energy
emotional
wise.
connection to one particular? I know like energy wise, but is there an emotional connection to it?
For Kill Your Boss, maybe just like how cathartic it feels, but like to any song in particular, maybe Bad Boys Boxing Club, just because I did write. I mean, I wrote the lyrics to that one, and I don't usually write a lot of lyrics for Riley, and that one just is more like a personal experience kind of song. So like, definitely comes from a real place. But yeah.
How often are you guys like kind of, I guess, changing up roles and collaborating in terms of what you guys are doing and with the songwriting? Like, what's your songwriting process like?
I think it's the first time we kind of mixed it up a little bit. I usually, for the most part, have like written like the skeletons of the songs and then just kind of brought them to practice, and we kind of just built from there. This one, like this record, like the entire thing, we pretty much like maybe like 99% of it just sat down together as a group and like wrote them out like from step one. And I feel like, I don't know, it was really cool because I feel like it sounds like more us than it ever has.
Is there like a moment where you felt like things were really clicking, working together with this album? Like, what made this album different than your past stuff?
I think just the fact that we like really sat down together more so than like us writing our own parts separately and kind of just throwing it together. Like, I don't know, like all of it kind of clicked like from the very beginning. Like it just felt good to write as a unit finally.
Yeah. It kind of felt like some parts wherever Ryan would be like, I'm stuck. Kriya and I would just kind of come in and be like, this is how we'd get it unstuck. And then one or the other would stick. And then that was just kind of like the process. Like, I don't know. It was really cool to actually all collaborate.
We also practiced a lot together because of the last album, it was like during COVID time. So it was just like separate. And this one feels more cohesive.
So your last writing session, I guess, before this album was throughout COVID. Was that a big change for you guys? Were you able to still kind of collaboratively work together, or were you just kind of like putting things on pause throughout that period?
I don't know. So the record we put out before this one was kind of a weird one because that's when our previous drummer had left the band. Kind of, he'd left like in 2019ish. And so like I was writing a lot of these songs. Chris was kind of adding like bass parts to them and stuff. And then Izzy kind of joined and wrote drum parts in. But then COVID happened when we were doing that, and then we tried to record like super DIY during like, you know, the social distancing and like lockdowns and stuff. It didn't feel as cohesive as this one, but it did feel really good still too. Because I know for that one we had a lot more energy than we did in our previous music.
I want to know about these song names because, you know, your song names are fun. They're different. You've kind of you leaned into the, you know, random emo long names with, you know, God is an algorithm and I'm fighting for attention with a million strangers on the internet. What made you come up with that song name in particular?
That one in particular, because I think I've named all the songs so far. Our first two releases, well, the first one we had a song called God Released Me Into the Wild and Now He's Hunting Me for Sport. And then on our second release, I was like, we should just keep that bit going. And so we did God is asleep at the wheel and I'm locked inside the trunk. And there's actually a quote from Grey's Anatomy. And I was like, that's like the same as the first one. Let's just fucking roll with that. And then on this one, we almost didn't have a God is blah, 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 blah song title because I couldn't think of anything. And then I don't remember where we were. I think we were like in the van on tour or something. And I was like, we were talking about like AI and like TikTok algorithms and stuff. I don't remember what the fuck we were talking about. And then it just like happened. And I was like, yo, I got the song title.
So the whole God is like, it's Riley
like
lore
for us. Yeah.
And then I also need to know too, Ego Peak Mid, what video game inspired that?
That one's Valorant.
That one's Valorant.
It's cringe, I know, but it's Valorant.
I'm
if I don't want to sound cringe, I'll tell people it's CS. But
yeah, I'm big. I play both. I play Valorant too, but I felt like the Ego Peak mid, it reminded me of CS more, just because it reminds me of like CS2, of the old Dust 2 the old Dust 2 maps where you'd Ego Peak mid with the op and just get absolutely destroyed because there was always another op waiting for you. But yeah. What about Bad Boys Boxing Club? Where did that name come from?
That one, it's funny. I feel like we tried to step away from the meme titles as much as possible for this record, and then we kind of didn't anyway. But that one, when we were writing, when we were writing, so like whenever we write music together at like band practices and stuff, we'll like I'll use like the iPhone voice memos and set it down in the room, and we'll just like record ourselves playing like the very first like I guess like rendition of whatever song we're working on, so that we kind of can go back to it and remember how it sounded, because I know that we'll forget if we don't have like a band practice anytime like shortly after. And I had like the setting on, I guess, where instead of like naming the memo after you're done recording, it like names it off the location of where you're at. And across the street from where we were practicing is like a gym called the Bad Boys Boxing Club. So when we recorded the voice memo, like very first version, it just like auto named it Bad Boys Boxing Club, and we were like, damn, that's kind of hard.
That's great. I love when things just kind of like falling together. Other than that, there's not really many meme titles within the album. It's the God is an Algorithm, it's Ego Peak Mid, and then Bad Boys Boxing Club really are like the three. Other than that, is there any stories about any of the other titles within the album?
Let me pull up the titles. I don't know if we have any like other. Do we have any like stories for any of these?
Specifically,
I think we just like named them, right?
Yeah, they just named them.
Yeah. So it's so weird because like I feel like this is the first time that we actually don't like, I don't know, go super silly with it. This time we're just kind of like, I don't know, we just wanted to be a little bit more serious,
straightforward.
In the past, all of our songs were like just meme references. Like we have Zach and Miri make DiGiorno. We have there's some good ones. Yeah, they were all just Calabummer, dude. Yeah. They're all just references to memes. That's all they were. Like pre and before this record.
Yeah,
that's fun. Yeah, it's you also had Ben Quad on this album as well. How did that come to be? Have you guys built a relationship? Was it something where you reached out to them? How did that come to be?
Yeah, we toured with them in
2022.
What year? 22? Yeah, 2022. We've been really, really good friends for a few years now. And I deadass just texted Sam. I was like, yo, do you want to be on a song? And he was like, yeah, I'm super down. And then I sent him the song with like that empty part, and he like got me like a verse back like a couple weeks later.
That's amazing.
And now we got dogs.
Yeah, cats and dogs.
The whole zoo coming through.
Something about that.
All good. It's our space with all the cats and dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Izzy, goodbye. We got dark as shit on your side.
What bands have I guess you connected with the most since you started doing this?
Oh man, there's a lot. Ben Quad for sure, obviously. We are now really good friends with the folks in Summer Brews. Very cool people.
Arcadia Gray.
We have really good relations with.
Arcadia Gray.
Seahome. Arcadia Gray. Seahome, RIP. They're not a band anymore, but they're really cool people too.
Also, I feel like there's a band that's like a lot of people talk about, but I feel like they're super, super underrated, like outside of our communities, called Cheem. CHEEM.
Very good friends also.
They keep getting categorized an emo band, but they're like way outside of that. And they're also like the sweetest and coolest people that I can remember off top. And like, hell yeah, big shout out to them.
How would you categorize them?
They're like new metal pop with emo.
New metal pop.
Okay.
Imagine a boy band.
They're also like emo by default.
Emo by association, really.
Yeah, by association.
At this point, we're slapping the emo label on a lot of things.
Yeah.
but it is what it is. At the end of the day, good music is good music, right? I feel like it's, as long as you're a part of the scene, you're making good music, it's cool. And you guys are actually going to be on a pretty big tour coming up as well. Prince Daddy, Saturdays at Your Place, and Carpool. What are you most excited for with that tour?
All of it, man. I don't know. Like, it's all good bands. Like, that's going to be sick.
Yeah. I feel like every single band on that bill has put out a record that like we've like either jammed recently or jammed in the last couple of months, and we're all very just excited just to play with them more than anything, meet them.
Have you not met a lot of these bands before? Have you just been connecting online, or?
We met Carpool and Saturdays. We played with Saturdays in Kalamazoo like a year ago or so.
It was a year ago, yeah.
Like a year ago in a basement in Kalamazoo. We've never played with Carpool, but we met them recently. They're really cool people. I don't know anybody in Prince Daddy. I'm excited to meet them too. I mean, I like the band a lot. Like,
Yeah, I had Stoff from Carpool on the show as well, and he seemed like a really, really nice dude. And
cousin right there.
Yeah.
That's Primo right there.
That's her.
That's Primo right there.
And, they released an album earlier this year. You guys released an album earlier this year, and it's definitely a solid year for emo music and for releases. But I feel like I'm saying that every year I've been saying that every year for the last 3-4 years. Like, just so much great new music has been coming out over the last 5 years, which has been incredible. Do you have a dream band to tour with right about now?
Metallica,
Slayer,
Motley Crue,
the other Anthrax. Wait, is the Big Four Megadeth? I don't know if I have like a dream band. Hot Mulligan would be cool. Those are funny people, and their music rocks.
You were gonna say something, Izzy?
I don't know. I think within the community, probably Hot Mulligan for sure. I'd love to play a show with Military Gun one day. It's like one of my favorite bands.
That band.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun, very high energy. What about a band from outside of the genre? Like, what's your favorite band right now outside of the genre?
Somebody else go first. I listen to too much music.
I'm trying to think.
I've been listening to a lot of bands on the Euphoria music label. It's EPHERYA, Euphoria, whatever. Into Again is a really good band that I've been listening to in the last couple of weeks. But that whole label that they're on is like, I don't know what's in the water in Connecticut or in that whole little area there, but like, it's insane. Really, really, really good stuff.
What type of music?
I think Into Again's like something like a Taking Back Sunday if they were like a modern metalcore-y kind of band, but I think Taking Back Sunday-ish. But yeah.
Taking Back Sunday meets metalcore.
Yeah, ish.
That sounds like an interesting concept.
Yeah.
What about you, Chris?
I don't know, like outside of our genre, I don't know. Maybe maybe like Alkaline Trio or something like that.
Damn.
Like close enough.
It's close enough.
Pretty epic.
Yeah. How are you, Ryan?
What about you, Ryan?
Outside of our genre's tough because I listen to so much fucking emo music. I really like Underscores though. They're like kind of like if hyper pop met pop punk, and I think they kind of rock. That'd be sick to tour with or play a show with or something.
I typically like asking this towards the end of the interview because the show, a lot of it is about, supporting a lot of up and coming acts and musicians and artists, sort of like yourself. And so I like to always, have these discussions and talk about other bands on the show. Like I said, usually towards the end to sort of spread that love and give people shout outs. But since we're kind of already on the topic, who's your favorite up and coming band right now within the scene?
Favorite up and coming band? Man.
Red Sun.
I was about to say that.
I was thinking
I
them
win.
too, actually.
I win. Red Sun is crazy. They put out dang it. Sorry. I'm about to start saying. Yeah,
they
put
put out
out
an EP.
Best Buds with a smiley face. It's a really, 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 really good EP. Definitely in the community kind, or like emo, pop punk kind of twinkly kind of stuff, but the vocals are great. I haven't heard a band come out of the gate with like an EP demo kind of thing and sound so like well-rounded off the rip in a long time. Like it's kind of crazy. But yeah, Red Sun.
It's funny, actually, that you brought them up, because I was actually going to be interviewing them tonight as I was like reaching out to them, and they were in my DMs, and then they had to bail because something came up. So I'm looking at getting them rescheduled to get them on the show as well. And I think they're actually probably the first and only band that I've discovered because of Twitter, of all platforms. Like there's not many bands that have discovered because of Twitter. Most bands, you know, it's conversation, right? It's not really the best place to promote your music unless you're posting a clip or you're kind of already know or have an idea of who they are. You know, TikTok and Instagram are a little bit better when it comes to promoting clips, but this band Red Sun just kept on popping up on my feed on Twitter so much, especially when talking about emo stuff, or they were like interacting with, I'm like, who is this? And all these bands that I like are also interacting with this band. I'm going to go and check them out. And I checked out their Best Buds EP, and I was like, this is so freaking good. How is nobody talking about this band?
Yeah.
So I'm happy that you brought them up. So shout out to them. If you're listening, go and check out this EP as well, because that's definitely a big one. And then go and check out the eventual episode that I'm going to have with them. I wanted to talk a little bit about concert etiquette. Like, how many shows have you guys been doing recently? Have you noticed that anything's changed? Because I've sort of seen this discourse and this conversation kind of happening online. And I'm curious, you know, as a younger up and coming emo band as well, if you've sort of noticed anything within crowds and within your local scene.
Like changes, or
Yeah. How have things changed?
I don't know if
know.
anything has really changed. I like to think that majority of the shows we've ever played have just been everyone's been pretty chill. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think anything has really changed much.
Yeah, I feel like if anything, specifically in emo and DIY in this community, like I feel like there's just a lot more people, and a lot more people are more excited and more wanting to be involved. And like some of them, I feel like younger people coming into the sphere, like that may have not gone to shows prior to the pandemic or whatever, might not really understand that, like, I don't know, don't hang out on stage and don't take the mic for the whole song, or you know what I mean? Like, it's cool. You know, I don't know. There's little things like nuances that are kind of like lost but that kind of happens whenever there's like a lot of people being introduced to any community. You know what I mean? But I think it's all in all a net positive. I think everybody's just more excited. Everyone's like happy to be at shows now. And like, I don't know, it wasn't like this in like 2015 when we were playing, other bands and stuff. Like, there was like no people to like catch you when you dove, you know?
Yeah, it sounds like things have changed at the very least from what you're saying for the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, I guess the scene is continuing to grow, and I feel like throughout 2015 it started to slow down a little bit, and now we're sort of seeing that we're kind of seeing it rejuvenate a little bit. How do you feel about the, I guess, emo nostalgia of the 2000s stuff that's kind of going around right now? Like, have you felt like that sort of like affected you guys as a band for the better? Do you find it, and look, like, I'll be straight up. I'm older. You guys seem like you're younger. I've played into the emo nostalgia stuff in my content. I'm sure you've seen that. This podcast is geared towards millennials that grew up in that era and are also looking to sort of keep the scene alive and keep up with today's music, right? So it's like, we're not the prime demographic anymore, but we're still looking to keep up with what's going on today, right? Because a lot of the millennials, at least the ones that are a part of my demographic for this podcast, are the ones that grew up listening to Taking Back Sunday and My Chemical Romance in their height through the 2000s. But they're also the ones that stayed in it, and they want to find the bands like the Hot Mulligans and the Mom Jeans and whatever. And maybe sometimes they need someone like or something like this show to sort of give them that push to get into it. Have you found that with that sort of being more popular over the last couple of years, that it's sort of helped the scene? And you can be honest, like, I'm not going to take offense by it. My listeners won't take offense by it. If you have a negative side of things, I'm just kind of curious how, I guess, the younger bands and the younger scene are sort of seeing the old heads in the crowd,
Mm-hmm. I think it's cool. I don't really know if I have any opinions toward it. I don't know.
I think it's it's a good, again, it's kind of like a net positive,
It's like a space for everyone kind of type shit.
Yeah. I will say, I feel like we, not that we benefit from it or anything like that, but I feel like any way that there is an avenue to get more people to just, feel good about, I don't know, the reason we start going out and playing shows when we're fucking young or whatever is just to feel included and you're finding a community and shit like that. And everybody, whether even if we're a little bit younger, millennials or not or whatever, we all need that no matter what. So I don't know, if it helps you or if it helps them find a good sense of community and good bands, younger bands that sound shit from back then, good. You know what I mean? Also, we used to do a fucking, what was it, Ryan? The cover set?
Oh, emo
we used
night?
We used to do before, I think 2017, 18 and 19 or something like that. We did an emo night, or Riley and their old band used to do an emo night every year before it was cool.
Yeah.
But of course, of course we love that shit. We're never too cool for that, It's I think people that pretend they're too cool for it are just kind of all right, but we'll never be those kind of people, I think, We'll be silly forever.
Silly forever. I love that. Yeah, I know. I've had other people kind of mention how the Gen Z and the millennial emos don't always get along because it's the millennials are cringier than the newer era of emo. And I totally understand that side of things as well. That's kind of just the time that it was back then. We were cringy and we've kind of embraced it. But I like that you mentioned that it's, finding that sense of community and that sense of belonging, because to me, that's always what it was about, right? It was whether it was cringy or not, for the time, we were all just misunderstood teenagers looking for other people who kind of understood what it felt like to be misunderstood, and you got together. Yeah. And the cool thing is the scene has evolved, but at the end of the day, that's still kind of the core of emo and what it is. It's that community for people that feel, at least that's the way I look at it, the community for people that feel that way and connect on something that they love, which is this raw emotional music.
Yeah. Of course.
And the cringe aspect, man, we'll all look back and think we were cringe at some someday.
You know what?
You don't know what's cool forever.
And you know what? Don't kill what is it? Don't kill the cringe part of you. Kill the part of you that cringes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Fuck it. You could never be too cool to be happy. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I feel like that's something that you just accept when you hit 30. For me, it was I hit 30 and it's just all right, well, I'm not in my 20s anymore. Who needs to try? Fuck it. We just do what we like, and we like what we like, and embrace the fucking cringe, and that's essentially it, right? And I feel once you do that, that's what makes you a lot happier.
Yeah, it's a good way of living. Like, I mean, I'm 27. We're all like in our late 20s, and it's just kind of like, it's just a happier way of living life. You know what I mean? Like, it's just.
And it sounds like you're having fun with it, even in your music too, right?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
What do you have planned for 2024? I know that you just dropped an album not too long ago, which, by the way, it came in the mail this weekend. I'm going to post a picture up on my Instagram stories afterwards. Right. It's actually on display in my living room right now. Like I said, one of my favorite albums so far of the year. Bonus points for it having a cat on it because I love cats. But, what else do you have planned for this year besides the tour with Prince Daddy and this album?
You know what sucks is I don't know if we really have any solidified plans post that. We're kind of taking it like a day at a time right now. Because I mean, a lot kind of just got thrown at us pretty recently, like a little bit overwhelming.
What just got thrown at you?
I mean, we just put out the record. A Counterintuitive signed us onto the label, and then we
came back for tour too.
Yeah, but we also with Summer Grooves we did get kind of linked up with Sound Talent, and it's kind of also helped us get onto that Prince Daddy tour. And it's just like the label, the booking, the record coming out all happened like really around the same time. Right now we're kind of just taking it a day at a time. So I don't think we have anything like on the books for after that tour as of right now.
We're all home. We'll be practicing and stuff. So, like, I don't know. Maybe we'll write some more shit eventually. And, like, I don't know. Just play more shows with the records fresh, you know? Yeah. As soon as we get something cool, we'll let everybody know.
That's amazing. Well, everybody needs to go and check out your latest album, Keep Your Cool. It is out now. Just look for the album with the cat on it. It is a contender for album of the year already for sure. And thank you so much for coming on the show. Honestly, this has been a blast. I'm, fan of your music, fan of you guys. This was a lot of fun for me. So I really hope that more people check you out and listen to your music, come to your shows, because we got to keep supporting the scene and keep supporting the bands like you guys that are putting out amazing music and doing amazing things. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
No, thanks so much for having us. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you for listening to Our Space with Matt Batiste. If you enjoyed yourself, please support the show by subscribing and leaving a review.